everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today I'm going to talk about something that I've gotten a lot of backlash from. And when I say a lot, I don't actually mean a lot, I just mean so much that I've noticed it. And not just me, it's generally something that we talk about, and I made another video as a sort of response to the why I'm not a vegan video, which is not really that relevant anymore. But I made a response talking about the normalization of sustainability and how we cannot work in ultimatums in the way that we sometimes do, both as eco-conscious and not yet eco-conscious people. But I just want to talk about that again from a slightly different perspective. This month I've been traveling quite a lot, and a lot more than I usually do, because I've been in Copenhagen, which I went to by plane for some work that I had to do over there with someone that I can't talk about yet, but you will see at some point. It's very exciting. Then I went to Spain, in Malaga, and I loved it. It was so awesome, and I just really needed that break. And then I am also in a few days going to London with my girlfriends, and we're going to have such an amazing time. So I've been traveling a lot more by plane than I'm usually used to. And side note, if I can take the train, I usually do that also when I go to Copenhagen and whatnot. I will take the bus or the train or something. That's what I'm most comfortable with. But my employers, they paid for my plane tickets, and I didn't really have any saying in it. Okay, I got messages on Instagram and on Facebook talking about how I wasn't a proper sustainable conscious person if I used plane traveling, which I to some extent agree with, because it's extremely unsustainable. And if you don't know that, look into it, because it is definitely unsustainable. But the way people talk to me about it really bothered me, because they told me I shouldn't bother being zero waste if I were to travel by plane, which I just think is not true. So it kind of provoked me. Now I'm talking about it, it's fine. But this is sort of this hypocritic condition that you're afraid that if you mess up in one place, you can't, or you don't need to bother in other places, which is just not true. Because even though I traveled by plane, I didn't produce any trash doing it, except for, you know, the CO2 and the everything and that. But you know, the trash I usually focus on is, you know, plain in your hand trash. Even though that's not the only kind of trash, that is what is easier to summon your mind to. I don't know. Okay, but my plane tickets, my boarding passes were all on my screen. I didn't print anything out. I didn't receive, I didn't accept any free or not free foods or beverages, anything like that. I got on and I got off. No, you know, plastic in the bins or anything. So, but still, it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all. However, I think that it's just so important not to look at sustainability and the world in general from this black and white perspective, because no one has ever gotten anything done. If they mess up once and say, why bother then screw it, I'm just deleting my channel and, you know, let the world do its thing. I don't agree with that sort of worldview, and I get quite pissed actually when people say to me, don't even bother being zero waste. This is 3 years of my life now, and this is not just something I do to make videos about it. This is generally something that brings meaning to my life, and just because I travel by plane a few times in a month exclusively, well, that doesn't really change my values, doesn't really change anything, except that I did something that wasn't quite sustainable. However, I have done so many other things that are so sustainable, and I don't think that any one of us should be this perfect or strive to be this perfect individual that doesn't leave any waste, any trash or any impact, because that is just not possible. Then you have to stare into a wall until you die, and when you die you need to decompose, because the funeral industry is also quite polluting. So you can't really be that individual, and I don't really appreciate when people think of me that way, because I am not. If you want to know more about this, I made a video called My Zero Waste Confessions, in which I talk about all my imperfections, and there are lots. But I just really wanted to talk to you guys about this, and if you have ever heard this phrase, or if you by any chance use this phrase, don't even bother because blank. Stop doing that, because it puts so much pressure on the receiver of that message, and it's just a completely unattainable goal for anyone. So that was just my thing. I made also blog posts about how to travel more sustainably and what to do when you are on vacation that you can make more sustainable choices. Acknowledging, of course, that plane travel is extremely polluting, but what can you do when you are there? Because sometimes you want to travel. I'm also going to, this summer, take a trip with my father because I really, really love him and I want to go and see something with him. And that is not something I wouldn't want to do because it was polluting. You get my idea? And I think sustainable lifestyle and sustainability in general is so important to me, but it should never be something that restrained myself from experiencing the world, because that is just mad. You can't talk about the world if you haven't seen it. So that was my tiny little rant, but you know, I got pretty pissed about it. So I hope that maybe you can get something from this experience of mine. And if you're more interested in zero waste travel, I will leave my posts down below. I've also made videos about it, so if you search anyway Guidemerit travel, you will find all my posts and tips and tricks all together. But I will leave that down below that I made specifically when I went to Spain. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video and you know where I'm going with this. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them down below, because I love to read about your experiences, about your thoughts on what I experienced. So yeah, also if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, that would make my day. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, that would also make my day. And as I said, every social media platform is down below, so if you want to find me on Instagram and Facebook and my own personal blog, you can go and do that. I hope to see you guys next time and take really good care of yourselves until then. Bye!